All right. I guess, officially, we'll get started, I think, in like 5 minutes. Almost. All right. Those of you who are here already, hello, welcome. We're gonna get started in just a moment here. Just give me like 5 more minutes to get the stuff in order. While you're here, you can let me know how's the voice sound. Is it too loud? Not too loud? Is the music too much? Not too much? You know, those sort of things. But I'll be right back. Okay, so like, always gotta have the apple juice. It's important. Okay. All right. Hold on, almost ready. Promise, like 2 more minutes. Hoka. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, thank you for being here. It means a lot to me that you came out tonight. You could have been doing anything else with your time, like playing Tears of the Kingdom, but maybe you just want to play it on your new Switch. So we're going to get to that in just a minute here. I'm not sure I've had enough apple juice to start yet. That's the problem. Holwood, hello. Let me go fix that. I can't believe I'm giving it away. All right. I did! Finally! It's like the, stars aligned or something. We shouldn't even talk about that yet, because you see this? Okay, that's a cell phone, right? You know what they look like. You're familiar with what they are and what they do. That one is connected to an emergency service. And if it rings, I am required to answer it. I'm on call tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so this thing could ring at any time and just muck this whole thing up. But we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to have some fun and see what happens. You ready? I hope so. I don't... That's fine. We can do it. It's gonna be okay. Right? There it is. Is that the one? OBS gets weird sometimes. There we go. I think I should do it. Alright, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming to hang out. Let's find out who's gonna win this fucking Switch. Alright, first up, we have, not me, okay? I can't enter. That would be in bad faith. We have Mr. Holwood, who is already in the chat. So, very good of you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for participating. Kicks things off, he says, my favorite Zelda story has got to be the first time I beat Ganon in Breath of the Wild. I never really got into the game when it was first released, but my sister loved it. She took a lot longer to do things than I did when I eventually got around to playing it, not because she was bad at the game, but because she was more of a perfectionist. Yeah, that I can imagine as a perfectionist, like someone who wants to 100% the game, it would just be like, I don't know, it gives me anxiety just thinking about it, so I basically just ran straight through it personally. She gathered more spirit orbs, Korok seeds, weapons, etc. than I ever did before defeating Ganon. I remember one day watching her play and got inspired to start playing the game myself, as I hadn't done more than get off the Great Plateau, just right in the beginning. All she would talk about was how good she was doing and how my poor account hadn't reached even a single village. With my newfound competitive spirit, I sped through the main storyline and got to my first divine beast, Rudania. I don't remember which one that was, just being honest. And proceeded to die about 14 times before asking her for help. She tried to guide me through it, but eventually she just took the Switch and beat the beast for me. Aw. Oh. I remember those days. After that moment of embarrassment, I went on to defeat all 3 other beasts on my own and make my way to the castle. My sister had made it through all the beasts as well at this point, but was doing her perfectionist thing and gearing up to the maximum before setting out for the final battle. Because of her gloating earlier, I made sure to walk by her while fighting Ganon and rub it in a little. She was absolutely pissed. She literally started cheering for my death and was almost in tears by the time the Zelda cutscene started to play. I felt bad, but so satisfied that I was able to dethrone her as the Breath of the Wild master of our home. It's been a long time since those days, and she's still a little sour from me ruining her Breath of the Wild experience by trotting ahead. I realize now I probably should have gone a route more similar to hers by gearing up, exploring, and basically just not doing the bare minimum. Even 6 years later, I'm discovering new things about the game, and I wish I would have savored it more during my first playthrough. I'm excited for Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm doing my best to stay away from any spoilers now that the game has fully leaked. I hope this time I can savor my experience and play the game more like my sister in this new sequel. Thanks for putting on this giveaway. This OLED would be a nifty and gorgeous replacement to my current Gen 1 Switch, which is practically falling apart. Good luck to all the entrants. Boop! Appreciate the comment, buddy. Great story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Very enjoyable. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Next up is Eric Reyes 7902 says, really excited for the release of Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty much very late on the lore of Zelda. I actually just bought Breath of the Wild last week and have been having a blast. I don't know why it took me so long to play the franchise. I've been just a busy guy and just wasn't ready. But now I'm all in, so hopefully I can win this giveaway because I really want to see and feel the gorgeous OLED screen. Boop! Appreciate the comment. Thank you, buddy. Next up, Big L1204 says, my best memory from Zelda, from the Legend of Zelda series was when I met Mipha's spirit in Vah Ruta. It was so sad to have seen how much she loved Link and then having to leave her. The champions are my favorite characters, and I'm so excited to explore the new Hyrule with their descendants in Tears of the Kingdom. Hope I win. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. Next up, Slitherkins in the chat currently. I know. Hold on. Okay. All right. Next up, Slitherkins says, I've got a ton of fond Zelda memories. My sister used to watch me play when we were kids. It was one of the few times that we got along. I never finished the final boss fight for Ocarina of Time when it came out, despite trying many, many times. But after my grandmother died, while we were moving her furniture, I saw the N64 was still hooked up to her old console TV, and that game was in it. I turned it on and beat it first try. I guess 24-year-old me was just a better gamer than kid me. But hold on, my real question though is like, you turn it on first try? You didn't have to take the cartridge out and blow in it first? I'm just saying. Just saying, it's a little sus if you ask me. He goes on to say, that wasn't the only console sitting on top of the old TV either. Nana and I played so many hours of games on it when I was little. I used to spend a lot of time at her house almost every weekend and every few months. My great aunt Donnie would visit from out of town, and we'd all stay up literally all night taking turns playing. My goodness. It was always so nice. And the only time was allowed coffee. Just a little. Oh, it's a nice detail there. Nana was so animated when she was fighting things. She'd shout and swivel her chair and kick her feet up as if that helped her character fight. But we got stuck on a quest in A Link to the Past, which Nana bought as soon as it came out, and Aunt Donnie came to visit specifically to play. Of course, back in those days, the internet wasn't a thing, but the Nintendo Power Hotline was. Nice. I was like 10, so I can't remember exactly what questions we asked, but I do remember hearing the gameplay counselor laughing her ass off in a delighted, non-shitty way, over the fact that a woman in her 70s was calling to ask about a game, not for her grandchildren, but for herself, because she was a gamer. Nana was slightly indignant, but then Nana was just kind of like that. We eventually got our answer, waiting for the counselor to tell her coworkers about us. They were so very tickled to help and hoped we'd call again. Now, whenever I play Zelda, any of them, I think about being a kid, punch-drunk tired, and sleep-deprived, seeing the windows grow lighter as I waited for my next turn on the controller, and Nana and Donnie laughed and chatted and drank coffee in between killing things and dying. And I remember the Nintendo game specialist thinking my Nana was cool for playing Zelda, and I felt cool for playing it with her. It's heartwarming. I still have that console TV and all her old Nintendo consoles and games. I play them with my kids. The nephew is very enthusiastic, especially about Majora's Mask. I made him a papier-mâché replica for Christmas. Nana didn't get to meet them, but I think they would have played together if she had. And when we're playing the old games, it's easy to imagine her waiting on the love seat for her turn. My goodness, buddy. My goodness. I'm gonna need a minute. That one hit a little close to home. You know, my like my very first memory, pretty much as far back as I can remember, is sitting in my mom's lap while she played the original Legend of Zelda. And like what you described here very much like what it was like in our household with the original. I remember, I think it was my mom beat the game first, and so again, like original Legend of Zelda NES, and she called all of us into the room so we could watch her beat the end boss and beat the game. So it's like, and she passed in 2018. So, like whenever I think about Zelda, I'm reminded of her and what it was like to share that growing up. So, I really feel your story. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. He needs a drink. Oh, I'm in the chat right now. How you guys doing? He needs a drink before my wall of text. You're right. I need a drink after it, too. All right. Next up, No, You're a Towel says, I literally have no Zelda stories to tell. I'm actually trying to get into The Legend of Zelda since I've never played any of the games. I'm dead serious. After one of my best friends showed me Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild, I was hooked. I also felt odd not knowing what my friends were talking about. Hopefully I get lucky so I can hang out with them more. If this doesn't count, I understand. Also, please don't let this be a scam or fake. Anyways, thanks. At least I'm being honest. Boop. Definitely not a scam. Not a scam. Not fake. But yeah, not really a Zelda story. So, but you never know. That could have been the best one. This video could have gotten 3 views and like 1 comment. So you never know. Thanks for playing. Next up, Lucky Leah says, my favorite Zelda story is from when I was a lot younger and played The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD on my Wii U. I was at the beginning of my adventure right before infiltrating the Forsaken Fortress, which was really fun. The question of how Link would get in came up, and the best cutscene I've ever witnessed in any game came up. I watched as they counted down from 3 and launched Link from a barrel into the Forsaken Fortress. I absolutely loved his facial, yeah, I can picture it, his facial expressions, and it still makes me laugh to this day. I'm super excited for Tears of the Kingdom to come out. I just can't wait. Boop. I appreciate the comment. Thanks for playing. Hope you're enjoying Tears of the Kingdom. I'm still in the tutorial area, also, by the way. No time to play. Kind of sad about it. Next up, Richard East 123 says, my favorite Zelda memory is beating Ganon with my brother. Then I had to fight it for him. Yeah, I've had a couple of those. I can't, yeah, my little brother, I can't beat this. Jonathan, do it for me. Yeah, good times. All right. Next up, Alexander BestBoy5276 says, a story? Well, the entirety of my experience with Breath of the Wild was such a wonderful thing. I played it thanks to a friend lending me the game, and I didn't know anything about it at the time. So I played it fully blind, and oh my god, it was nothing but breathtaking. Truly something I'd love to live again, but I cannot. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I popped in the game and started playing. At first, I was a little overwhelmed by the open world and all of the possibilities. I remember feeling like I didn't know where to go or what to do, but as I started exploring, I quickly got hooked. I remembered the first time I climbed a tower and looked out over the vast landscape before me. It was breathtaking. I remember thinking, wow, there's so much to explore. From that moment on, I knew that this was going to be a game unlike any other. As I continued playing, I discovered all sorts of new weapons, items, and abilities. I remember the first time I used the paraglider to glide down a mountain. It was so exhilarating. And the first time I defeated a Lionel, I felt like a true hero. Those things are tough. Like, they're not easy. I specifically remember having such a hard time with Eventide Island. It was so difficult for me. One of my favorite parts was sniping enemies from afar, and the first divine beast I fought was Naboris. Yeah, I remember I didn't know about nothing, so I walked into the hardest boss fight without knowing. What a challenge. I appreciate that you're making this giveaway. In my case, I'm trying to win a Switch for my boyfriend. I've been trying to get him one, but I don't really make enough money to buy one. Boop. I appreciate the comment. Thank you for sharing. Breath of the Wild really was I mean, it's definitely not your typical Zelda game. And it was just like, for me, it was just like the perfect amount of like open world, do whatever you want, but like storyline pacing. So everything felt really organic and just like compelling. So like kept bringing you back to it. Up next, Gary Halloway 810 says, wow, my favorite memory was playing the original Legend of Zelda, and after many hours of trudging back and forth between locations, I found I could actually play my ocarina and be flown to locations instantly. That saved me a lot of time for me between getting Link killed again. I mean, that's true. That's true. It wasn't an ocarina though. Wasn't it a flute? Pretty sure it was a flute. It was a magical flute. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Boop. Appreciate the comment, buddy. Thanks for playing. Up next, Wayne Nichols, 7985 says, my story is that my sister and I were playing Breath of the Wild for the first time ever, and we were we were getting all the memories. And we got to the one where Link and Zelda are running in the forest, and Zelda was so sad that she let down everyone around her, and that all of the champions are dead because of her. It was so sad that we started tearing up, and soon we were in a puddle of tears. Good luck to all. That's heartwarming. Thanks for sharing. Boop. How you guys doing in the chat? That Lionel feeling is real though. I mean, yeah. And so I beat the first one. Like I followed the trajectory, so I ended up in Zora's domain, and so they were like, go get whatever electric arrows. And I didn't know at first that you could just like sneak past the Lionel to get the electric arrows. So like, I didn't even do anything. Like, I didn't even go collect extra hearts or anything. I just, like, learned the attack patterns. It took me, like, 4 hours to beat it. But I did. I got really good at parrying, so that served me well for the rest of the game. It was not easy. Okay. Next up, Heath G 8259 says, I'd love to be entered into this. It's really nice that you're doing this, even though you don't have to. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Not a Zelda story. Thanks for playing. Next up, Consfactu. Okay. Says, I'd love to be entered into this giveaway. I love Breath of the Wild and used to play Zelda on my N64. It would mean a lot to me to get the Switch and to get to play with my son, who also loves these games. Boop. thanks for playing. Next up, what is a Lee, right? What is a Lee? Says, I remember playing A Link to the Past and harassing cuckoos for the first time. Only moments after a flock of chickens advanced on my position did I realize my mistake. You know, I think we all have that memory. The first time we do it, it sticks with you. Mine was not in A Link to the Past. It was in Ocarina of Time, but same outcome. Needless to say, I reflected on the poor life decisions that led me to the inevitable death by pecking. I put down my Game Boy Advance that day in resignation. Boop. Appreciate the story. Thanks for playing. Next up, Goyev says, I couldn't ever really get into The Legend of Zelda until Breath of the Wild. I just remember for years back in the Game Boy Advance days, I played the hell out of A Link to the Past and the original Legend of Zelda, but never beating them. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Up next, Heath G8259, I guess, or again, says, my best memory is when I first loaded into Breath of the Wild and had no clue what I was getting myself into, but now it's become my favorite game ever. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Breath of the Wild's an amazing game. No arguments. Did someone win? Boop. That's what we're doing now. Thanks for playing. Okay, up next, Doodles Gatag says, my favorite memory was when I was playing Trial of the Sword. Oh, interesting. For the first time. And a Moblin had glitched, so he had picked up like 3 Boko Goblins at the same time in one hand and then threw them at me. Yeah. That's funny. It's a good story. Thanks for playing. Up next, Rodrigo Rafael, 9514 says, my favorite story is definitely teaching my little cousin how to play Breath of the Wild. He had the same feeling playing the game for the first time as I did. I guided him all the way through the 4 Divine Beasts until finally facing off against Ganon. It took several tries for him to actually beat Ganon, but when he did, I could see the gratification and happiness in his eyes. Boop. You know, that's one of the, like, I'm really glad that I did this, to be completely honest with you, because like one of my favorite things about Zelda is like the like sharing it with people that are close to you. So like I mentioned that one of my first memories is like sitting with my mom, her playing the original Legend of Zelda, but like all throughout our childhood, Zelda was a part of it. And so like me and my little brother would just sit for hours and play Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or you know, even Wind Waker and to an extent Twilight Princess. And so it's just like hearing these stories from all of you like adds, I think, an extra layer of resonance to the whole thing for me. So to everyone who commented, thank you. Oh, there can only be one winner, but to everyone, thank you. Okay. Didn't he already like the comments before? I don't know. Something weird is going on, or is going. Something weird is going now. Maybe it means on. What do you mean? Didn't I like the No, I don't. Everybody gets one. It's Spider-Man rules. This is how I do my comment videos. Okay. Sometimes you'll get a like from me before I do the comments video. Okay, but it's rare. That's right. Thank you, Slithikins. You're good. Okie dokie. All right. Next up, Lux 80 or 9872 says my best memory of Zelda, of a Zelda game was from Ocarina of Time. I was playing it on PC. Interesting. On an N64 emulator on a Sunday with my cousin. You remember the day? Nice. I appreciate that. It was at least 8 years ago, so I was about 12, and my cousin was 9 years old. We were making our way through the Forest Temple. However, as we progressed deeper into the dungeon, the puzzles became difficult. In fact, I couldn't find the last ghost and had the key to open the boss room. We were stuck, and despite our best efforts, we just couldn't seem to get past it. Then my cousin called his brother, who was in the dining room, talking with the rest of the family. Instead, we were in my room, gaming. I'm familiar. This cousin was older than us. He was about 17 years old and liked challenging games, but he too was stuck on the same part. So at this point, we were about to close the game when our parents, my dad and uncle, hearing us talk and swear at this game, they came, and together we all worked to complete this dungeon. After several times traveling all over the map, we finally managed to make it through. My dad had noticed that there was a secret mechanism to activate with the hook shot. It opened a room, and finally we found that cursed ghost with the lantern that served to light the torch. That was in the central room. The feeling of accomplishment was really overwhelming, and we celebrated with high fives. Even our parents acted like children. It was a really good moment, and also a demonstration of how a game can unite the family. I feel that. While more and more often modern games create division because you compete to see who is stronger and argue. Tried it myself when my colleague at university even went so far as to block me on Genshin Impact and doesn't talk to me anymore in real life just because I got one more character than him. Ooh, that's petty. By the way, thanks for the giveaway. I don't own a Switch, so it would be nice to win one. Good luck to everyone participating. P.S. Is this giveaway valid worldwide? I'm in Europe. Boop. Yeah, so it's valid worldwide. I think I mentioned in the video I'd ship it anywhere in the US for free. If whoever wins ends up, living outside of the US, we'll have to work something out as far as shipping goes. But yeah. We'll figure it out. I'll send it to you. Thanks for the comment, buddy. I appreciate it. Great story. Next up, Juan Gutierrez 4644 says, "Hi, John. Well, my memories about Zelda, there's one kind of funny, but I'd say it's pretty sad overall. When I was a kid, I didn't have money to buy a console. I legit only had a Sega Genesis until I was 18 and finally could buy a PlayStation 2 with my first job. So I remember a classmate made a pajama party, and well, I guess my classmate had a sleepover while every kid was playing football or doing things that kids do. I was using his N64 to play Majora's Mask." Nice. When I was already an adult, I downloaded an emulator to the PC and finally got to play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. So you kind of you went back to resolve the feeling there. I get that. If that doesn't convince you enough, think about this. I'm from Argentina. If you chose me, you'd be making your gift almost 300 times worthier. Okay, but whatever the result, thanks for the chance. Have a good one. Boop. Appreciate the comment and the story. Confused as to why it makes the gift 300 times worthier. Like what? I don't know. It's like Argentinian dollars, like 300 to every $1 US. I don't know. I don't get the reference. That's okay. Okay. All right. Next up, Thor Arne Christofferson. That's a name. Says, my favorite encounter with Zelda was playing Zelda: A Link to the Past on the SNES. It's not a certain point in the game or anything, but the whole game itself, that first time playing left a lasting memory. One of the first games that I totally got absorbed into. I know it's not much of a story, but that's how I got into Zelda. It's valid. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate the comment. Boop. Mm-hmm. We're live, so like normally if I were just doing a video, I would have hit the pause button so you wouldn't see that part, but that's okay. You know, you get what you get. Okay, we're in the treehouse tonight, so it's okay. Up next, Greylock 100 says, I remember playing on an original NES with my kid brother, and after a while I got frustrated. Then along came my 10 years younger kid brother, and he finishes the entire game in one afternoon. I haven't really played video games that much. Kind of put you off the whole thing, huh? A little bit? Yeah. Other than the original NES Mario games. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for playing. Mikoto up next says, my favorite... Oh, are you the I don't speak Japanese person? I think you were. You changed your name. That's okay. I can read that now. My favorite Zelda stories are the ones where people mistake who Link is. Okay. That not really. Okay, that's a meme. It's not really a story. Still funny though. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Up next, Blueberry Denim 4807 says, I was hesitant to tell this, but my favorite Zelda moment from my past also happens to be one of the most embarrassing moments as well. Oh, how about that? This was back when I was 11 playing Ocarina of Time with my two best friends. There was a point where you encounter what's called a dead hand. Oh yeah, in the well, right? Now this thing is genuinely terrifying, and it totally caught me off guard. I was fighting aggressively, pure adrenaline and fear. I can imagine. After a long battle, I came out victorious and jumped up in excitement, only to hear my friends laughing while pointing at me. Uh-oh. I asked why. They tell me to look down. I had unknowingly wet myself. Yeah. They still bring it up all the time. In hindsight, it's pretty funny. I can look back and laugh now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Boop. Solid story. Thanks for playing. Up next, Nerbs311 says, I only have one favorite Zelda related story or memory, because honestly, I've only ever played the first original Legend of Zelda on the NES. Deep gamer, shame. I know, I'm trying to remedy it. Calm down. Okay, no judgment here. You know, like the original's badass. What, you know, really cool. What was cool for me about playing Breath of the Wild was that it really felt like the evolution of the original game. It's like that was the game. Breath of the Wild was the game that Miyamoto always wanted to create, and so like it felt like I was playing the original Legend of Zelda, but in higher resolution. It was really cool. Anyway. He goes on to say, that being said, I remember spending countless hours of my, I guess with my sister Pauline, and playing our original gold cart copy together. Huh, I didn't know there was a gold cartridge copy of the original. Sitting in the living room, both of us sprawled on the floor, taking turns trying to beat the game, just having a good old time doing it. Man, those were the best times, right? Those were the best nights. Until we didn't, because we could never figure out how to beat the freaking game. My dude, do people not remember how hard NES... Yo, seriously. Like, there's some shit. Like, if you don't... And like, you have to know shit, and if you don't know shit, you're not gonna get shit. You're not gonna go shit. Like, it's not gonna happen for you. Like, they're no fucking, you know... Shit, what would you call it? Whatever. Go here markers on the mini-map. There's no mini-map. You have to remember in your brain where shit is. Yeah. Pre-internet days, when you could just look up how to beat the part you were stuck on. Seriously. We spent days trying to figure out where the hell we were supposed to go. I think it was somewhere in the graveyard area, not knowing what we were supposed to do. Not knowing what items we needed and didn't have, or where to get them, and just not progressing. I feel that. For me, The Legend of Zelda as a game is basically getting the sword from the old man in a cave and opening in the opening area and first dungeon. Okay. That's all I remember. Pauline played the rest, but still fond memories of those times. My sister passed away in '99, and it's absolutely wild to me that it's been 20 plus years since she left, because memories like that still play out like they were last week. We used to tag team games together all the time, usually with the help of strategy guides. And before you ask, no, we didn't have one for Zelda. My favorite game we played and beat together was Tomb Raider 2. Damn good game. Anyway, it's cool that you're doing this, and thanks for giving me a chance at it. I don't have a Switch, and it'd be neat to be able to unmute my friend Discord channel and participate in all the Tears of the Kingdom talks, since that's all they're talking about right now. P.S. I went to the Bandmade concert in Houston on the 14th, and it was my first time seeing them live, and holy hell, it was everything I had hoped for and more. Absolutely incredible. Boop. Well, Bandmade's badass. And even if you don't win the Switch, you got to see Bandmade live. Okay? I didn't do that yet. I haven't done that yet. So you got one up on me. I'm sorry for your loss, too. Thanks for playing. Oh, goody. All right. Hold on. I'm going to take a breath before this one. Oh. 1 Argentina peso is 0042 USD. You have to call the power hotline. Strategy guides. Yes. Giant journey books. Wait, do I have that one nearby? What do I do with that? Not that you... It's not I'm like I'm asking you like you guys know. It's not true. I'm good. Maybe it's in here. Don't mind me, I'm just getting distracted. Okay, I don't know what I did with it. It's probably in that box over there. I had a, was it Phantom Hourglass? Pretty sure it was Phantom Hourglass. Collector's Edition, strategy guide. Sealed. Pretty sure. I don't know. I had 2 of them at one point. I used to work at GameStop and they got pennied out, so I was just like, well, if you're just gonna throw them out, I'll buy them for a penny. But I sold one of them like a year ago, but the other one's still floating around here somewhere. Okay. All right. I didn't actually take a breath because I got, distracted. I've had a week, y'all. It's been wild. I'm not even off. Like, I'm not even off. Like, I have to work. I don't get a day off until, like, next Saturday. Fucking wild. Tired. It's okay. Next up, KMS 311 says, man, I don't know if this is going to be funny to anyone else. I like the way that starts off. But about 20 years ago, I was working one of my jobs at a cell phone store. I was at a more remote location, and we didn't get many customers. It was also in the Midwest, and I'm a city kid from New England. So I wasn't terribly enthusiastic about my career choice at the time. Understandable. Anyway, I figured out a way to install a Nintendo emulator on the computer at the store. I was long overdue for another playthrough of A Link to the Past. I started a new game on a particularly slow day and made some really good progress until a few customers came in. After I helped them out, I was alone again and back at it. Real talk though? Hold on, what did you say? Yeah, cell phone store. I worked at Verizon for a little while, and they were kind of lax with their, like, I guess, what you can do and what you can't do. So I would just bring my laptop in when it was slow, and I would play Magic the Gathering Arena in the back. So I feel you. About 2 hours passed, and some big old dude walked in with phone issues. They're the best, aren't they? He was being overly dramatic about it, and I was feeling pretty annoyed by his inability to just explain what was happening so I could fix the issue. After he gave me an earful for 5 minutes, I said, "Let me see the phone. I'll hook it up and run a diagnostic." So, Mr. Hillbilly Farmer Pants, shut up. Hands over the phone. I looked it up. I hooked it up to our computer and let the program run. While it's running, I switched over to the emulator and resumed my game because why? I mean, what else are you gonna do for that time? You should be productive, right? As I'm playing, the guy starts asking me what the computer is saying the issue is. At this point, I've had enough of his gum flapping and decided to just start making stuff up. I really feel this one. I tell him the first issue I'm seeing is a faulty Triforce file. Oh, okay. Yo. That's going to need recompiling. There's also a Hyrule script that's missing. I've just got to run the Saharsala program, and that should resolve the issues. I was actually kind of shocked that I said it, because if he happened to know what I was talking about, I'd probably take some heat for it. But this guy ate it up. He blurted out the most optimistic, "Let's get her done," that I'd ever heard. I then spent the next 20 minutes playing A Link to the Past, while that oaf sat in a chair in the corner of the store thinking I was hard at work on his phone. There was nothing wrong with his phone. He lived in a shitty service area. It just sat there on the corner hooked up to a computer that wasn't doing anything other than playing a dungeon in a Zelda game. I will never forget that guy and playing Zelda while he sat there waiting for me to finish the dungeon. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing. Really appreciate it. Okie dokie. This is... okay. I have to translate this one. Give me just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so up next, Tavu Porto says, well, here is my somewhat sad story with Zelda. I played Zelda 3, A Link to the Past, on the SNES in the 90s, but unfortunately the game wasn't mine and I couldn't buy it, so I could only play for a few weeks when I rented it from Blockbuster near my house. You could also rent games from Blockbuster. I remember that. The years and editions of Zelda passed, and I could not play again since I did not have the new consoles. I went from the SNES to PS1 after several years, and you're not going to play Zelda on the PlayStation. When emulators finally existed on the PC, for those distant years where the internet was cut off, if they called you on the, on the home phone, because the internet was hooked up to your landline. Yes, I remember. And there, my love for Zelda finally returned to the point of advancing almost all of A Link to the Past. But then I couldn't play. Again. Until today. I have not played the later versions of the game since I do not have any console today. Maybe I could try to emulate one, but emulator sites often bring viruses. Anyway, I hope I can win. Greetings, John, and so you can see that from the stream, I came to write my story. Yep. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for playing. Up next, Interstellar Dave says, I'm watching your Bandmade Commons video and wanted to weigh in on this video, which I did watch a few days ago. This bundle looks awesome, and I surely wouldn't mind having it. But unlike longtime Zelda fans, I don't have a great Zelda story. I'd like to have one because I've heard such great things about the series and the new game in particular. I just have not played Zelda before. Having been big into the PS2 back in the day and the Xbox more recently because of online gaming with friends, I'm no stranger to solo adventure games that are perhaps similar in some ways to Zelda, but not Zelda itself. I had a GameCube at one time and mainly played Pikmin and Pikmin 2. Great games. And Super Mario Sunshine. Also a great game. I regret, in hindsight, not trying out Wind Waker as it seems really cool. Recently, I was talking to a coworker about games, and I was saying how much I'd been enjoying Horizon Zero Dawn. She was then telling me about how she had just finished Breath of the Wild and was starting Tears of the Kingdom. She really got me back into thinking about how good, by all accounts, and iconic the series is, and how I missed it entirely. So I'm hoping to just jump in soon and start making memories. Anyway, that's why I didn't comment until now, and maybe there are more like me out there. Perhaps most big Zelda fans already not only have a Switch, but also have Tears of the Kingdom. I would say, at this point. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for playing. Up next, Julian Hernandez, 5235, says, I have a crazy story involving a Zelda game. Growing up, I was never into video games, so never owned a game console. My first job was in a mechanic shop where, from when I was 13 to today. And when the Zelda game Breath of the Wild came out, one of my coworkers wouldn't stop talking about how good it was, so I decided to go and buy it and try it out. At first, it took me some time to learn the mechanics of the game, but after that, I was hooked. I was playing till 3 or 4 a.m. On the 4-day playing. I guess on the 4th day playing, I played all night and didn't get any sleep. It's been a long time since I've not gotten any sleep because I've been playing a game, but not that long since I've only gotten 2 or 3 hours because I was playing Zelda. So. During the day, I was so tired that my attention was all over the place. I was given a tire to change. The customer had his own tire from his Volkswagen Bug as I was putting air in the tire. I was not paying attention to how much pressure I was putting in, and the tire exploded, hit the tire machine, and flew to hit me in the chest and sent me flying 10 feet across the shop. All right. I feel like there's a joke in there about Breath of the Wild mechanics. I don't know. I blew myself up with my own bombs more times than I care to admit. The good thing is that it was a small tire and it left me with a whole chest bruise and cut on my right hand from where I was holding the air hose. I was given 1 month off from work, and then that time off, I played Breath of the Wild every day until I finished the whole game, because it was the game's fault that I almost died, so I had to beat the game to beat death. When this new Zelda game came out, it, I guess, brought back memories, and I have been waiting to play it because the Zelda game has been the only real game I have actually played. Boop. That's a great story. That really is. Appreciate the comment, buddy. Thank you. Up next, Karime says, I've played Zelda since I was very young and have since developed a very serious love for Zelda. I crave playing it. I listen to the music sometimes. I love the comfort of playing Ocarina of Time. You and me both. I feel I need to play through it again. It's been a while since I played through Ocarina of Time. It is such a known and beautiful part of my life. I cherish the days where I can stay in alone, get really baked, yo, for real, and play Zelda on my N64 all day long. I've always wanted a Switch, but never committed to paying for one. Look, if you've never committed to paying for a Switch, until I bought this one, I had a Switch Lite. Yo, they're fucking phenomenal. Like, just like you can get one for less than $200, and it's the full Switch system. You just can't hook it up to the TV. I don't know. I love my Switch Lite. Like even for like undocking the OLED on this one, it's like, it's cool because you can do it, but it's heavier than the Switch Lite, so it's actually less manageable, right? Like, I highly recommend, if price is an issue and you don't necessarily care about playing on the TV, like, Switch Lite is the way to go. Like, less than $200, like you can get a used one or a refurbished one probably for like $150. The way to go. One of the reasons I love it is that I would play it with my big brother growing up, and we would trade off playing and looking up strategy guide hints. It was more than a game to me. It was a bonding activity that I shared only with my brother. Beating temples together made us feel so heroic, and the music especially helped with that. Oh, yeah. You know what? Now I see what you mean. Whoever commented already, like, something weird going on because I'm already liking whatever. Yeah. I don't know. It just does that to me sometimes. I haven't been able to figure it out. This is not the first time it's happened in a comments video. I don't know what it is. It bugs me. And there's actually some of my comments videos somewhere in the past where I get really annoyed by it because, like, all of the comments are like that. They're like, but they're like liked, but they're not blue. And so, like, my whole I'm like, no, I don't want you to be. No, you have to be blue. So I make a point. I don't know. It's a thing. You can go find it. That's the other thing too. It's like Zelda was such like a bonding experience for me and my brother. Like it's really nice to know that like it was for a lot of you as well, with you and your siblings. Oh goodness. All right. So it looks like this is the final comment entered. So I'm gonna take a breath and then we'll finish it out, and then we will announce the winner momentarily. Gonzo Cruz says, will the drawing be random? No, in fact, the drawing will not be random, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do it this way. I guess I won't go into too much detail as to why it won't be random. But I feel like making it random, sort of displaces some of the accountability. Like the whole idea was for me to pick the Zelda story that resonated the most. So if I'm gonna leave it up to a random drawing at the end, then I'm sort of like shirking my responsibility in that way. Like only one person can win, and it's like I want to be the one to say for certain, so there's no doubt, this person won because this story connected with me more than any other story. So there's no doubt. That's just for this one though. Maybe the next giveaway we can do like random stuff. I did a lot wrong with this one. I'll be honest with you. I did a lot wrong with this whole giveaway, but I'm committed to it. And this is what we're doing, so. I also lost a lot of money in the process. This did not go the way that I was hoping that it would. I did not think that this video would struggle to break 400 views. I don't know why people don't want a free Switch. So, I don't know. Alrighty. Final comment. Mr. Michael Torres 6107 says, one of the most impressive experiences I've had while playing a video game was The Legend of Zelda Saga. While playing a video game from The Legend of Zelda Saga, has undoubtedly been playing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Although I had never had any of the video game consoles on which this great game could be played, I was able to play it through an emulator on my computer. There's a lot of emulators in the comments. I didn't know that was like... I mean, I knew emulators were a thing, but I guess for older games it's handy. Like if you don't have a GameCube, if you have a game that can emulate, or a computer that can emulate. Okay, I get that. Although it was emulated very poorly, it did not prevent me from fully enjoying it, and it was through this game that I fell in love with the video game saga. Twilight Princess is a great game. Great game. I still remember the excitement I felt when I first controlled Link and went on to explore the map of Hyrule and the Twilight Realm, which, along with Midna, I had to rescue from the clutches of Ganon. I still feel the nerves when Link transformed into a wolf for the first time, and Midna joined the adventure to subsequently travel both the Kingdom of Hyrule and the Twilight Realm to save them. I remember the last battle with Ganon, which began by controlling Zelda's body, and then fighting with a bestial version of him, and finally defeating him with the help of the light bow and Zelda riding Epona. I guess the light bow and Zelda riding Epona. It was incredible. I remember feeling sad to see that supposedly Ganon had destroyed Midna, but the emotion and relief I felt when I saw that she had not died and had returned to her true form was very heartwarming. Although the joy was short-lived, as she had to return to the Twilight Realm and break the mirror, making it impossible for her and Link to meet again. Although it was very sad, I still remember this very spectacular adventure affectionately with all of these endearing characters. After this first attachment I had with this wonderful video game saga, I continued to play several games from the same saga, all emulated on my computer, as I have never had the opportunity to play any of these games on an official video game console. For that reason, it would be more than incredible to win the Nintendo Switch that is being raffled, so I can play some of the games from this same video game saga and continue to be in love with it, such as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I hope to be the lucky winner, and in case I am not, I hope that someone else is lucky enough to win it and enjoys it to the fullest and gets the opportunity to play a game from this beautiful video game saga, which has deeply captivated me. Boop. Appreciate the comment, buddy. Thanks for playing. Well, I think that's it. Me and my sister too. This was okay. What does he say? Gonzo Cruz. This was a waste of time. I'm unsubscribing. What's the point of it being a giveaway if you will pick the person? Cause it's my fucking Switch, dude. It's my. I can do what I want with it. That's the point. Get the fuck out of here. Most of these stories are fake.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know. You didn't think I knew that when I made the fucking giveaway? Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm not dumb.
And the people entered just for the Switch. Oh, like yourself!
Like you already admitted, yourself entered just for the Switch, okay? And if your story was better, I would have given it to you. Okay? Just saying. I would have given it to you, okay? But your story wasn't that good, okay? Alright.
That's it. Okay. So, it might not be surprising to you, but there are two stories that really stuck out to me as we read through those. So, I think we'll do this. Oh, funny. Okay. That didn't actually help me. So so here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do, because there are two stories that are in contention for the winning pin of this giveaway. They are from... Let's see. Make sure this is it. Mr. KMS 311, public subscriber, as well as Slitherkins, also public subscriber. So we will be reading both of these comments again, and then at the conclusion of the reading, the winner will be pinned. So, ladies and gentlemen, final stage of the giveaway. Let's begin. KMS comes in, says, man, I don't know if this is going to be funny to anyone else, but about 20 years ago, I was working one of my first jobs at a cell phone store. Sure. I was at a more remote location, and we didn't get many customers. It was also in the Midwest, and I'm a city kid from New England, so I wasn't terribly enthusiastic about my career choice at the time. I mean, look, I don't know. You're working in phone sales. Nobody's enthusiastic about that. Okay. It's all mock enthusiasm. Anyway, I figured out a way to install a Nintendo emulator. That's so funny. On the computer at the store. I was long overdue for another playthrough of A Link to the Past. I started a new game on a particularly slow day and made some really good progress until a few customers came in. After I helped them, I was alone again and back at it. I know, it's so funny. I love it. Just fuck the system. Break the system. About 2 hours passed and some big old dude walked in with phone issues. I was being overly dramatic about it, and I was feeling pretty annoyed by his inability to just explain what was happening so I could fix the issue. After he gave me an earful for 5 minutes, I said, "Let me see the phone, I'll hook it up and run a diagnostic." Quality move. So, Mr. Hillbilly Farmer Pants, solid, finally hands over the phone. I hooked it up to our computer and let the program run. While it's running, I switch over to the emulator and resume my game. Because why not? I mean, yeah, what else are you gonna do? You have downtime. As I'm playing, the guy starts asking me what the computer is saying the issue is. At this point, I've had enough of his gum flapping and decide to just start making stuff up. I tell him the first issue I'm seeing is a faulty Triforce file that's going to need recompiling. There's also a Hyrule script that's missing. I've just got to run the Sahara Salah. I hope I said that right. I don't know what that word is. Probably should. Program. And no. That should resolve the issue. I was actually kind of shocked that I said it because if he happened to know what I was talking about, I'd probably take some heat for it. But this guy ate it up. He blurted out the most optimistic, "Let's get her down then," I'd ever heard. I then spent the next 20 minutes playing Link to the Past whilst the oaf sat in a chair in the corner of the store thinking I was hard at work on his phone. There was nothing wrong with this phone. He lived in a shitty service. That's the best part. That's the best part. When there's nothing you can do because they're just in a bad area. Yeah. So it just sat there on the counter, hooked up to a computer that wasn't doing anything other than playing a dungeon in a Zelda game. I will never forget that guy and playing Zelda while he sat there waiting for me to finish the dungeon. Love it. All right. Number 2. Slitherkins says, I've got a ton of fond Zelda memories. My sister used to watch me play when we were kids. I was one of the few times we got along. I never finished the final boss fight in Ocarina of Time when it came out, despite trying many times. You know, to be fair, I don't know that I would have beaten it if I hadn't seen, we'll call him our uncle. If I hadn't seen our uncle beat it first. See, that was the whole thing. It was like I would play with my brother, but he would have me do the parts that he couldn't do, but I only knew how to do the stuff that he didn't know how to do because I watched our uncle do it. But after my grandmother died, while we were moving her furniture, I saw the N64 was still hooked up to her old console TV, and that game was in it. And I turned it on and beat it first try. Okay, again, I know I said this the first time around, but, you know, you turned it on first try? Do you need to blow in the cartridge at all for the first try? I'm just saying. Like, I believe that you beat Ganon first try. I don't believe you turned the N64 on first try. Sorry. Anyway, I guess 24-year-old me was just a better gamer than kid me. That wasn't the only console sitting on top of the old TV either. Nana and I played so many hours of games on it when I was little. I used to spend a lot of time at her house almost every weekend. And every few months, my great Aunt Donnie would come visit from out of town, and we'd all stay up literally all night long, taking turns playing. It was always so nice. And the only time I was allowed to drink coffee. Just a little. Nana was so animated when she was fighting things. She'd shout and swivel her chair and kick her feet up as if that helped her character fight. But we got stuck on a quest in A Link to the Past, which Nana bought as soon as it came out, and Aunt Donnie came to visit specifically to play it. Of course, back in those days, the internet wasn't a thing, but the Nintendo Power Hotline was. I was like 10, so I can't remember exactly what questions we asked, but I do remember hearing the gameplay counselor laughing her ass off in a delighted, not a shitty way, over the fact that a woman in her 70s was calling to ask about a game, not for her grandchild, but for herself, because she was a gamer. Nana was slightly indignant. But then, Nana was just kind of like that. We eventually got our answer. After waiting for the counselor, tell all. Oh, I see. We eventually got our answer after waiting for the counselor to tell all of her coworkers about us. They were so tickled to help and hoped we'd call again. Now, whenever I play Zelda, any of them, really, the franchise, I think about being a kid, punch drunk, tired, and sleep deprived, seeing the windows grow lighter while I waited for my next turn on the controller, and Nana and Donnie laughed and chatted and drank coffee in between killing things and dying. And I remember the Nintendo game specialist thinking my Nana was cool for playing Zelda, and I felt cool for playing it with her. I still have the console TV and all her old Nintendo consoles and games. I play on them with my kids. The nephew is very enthusiastic, especially about Majora's Mask. I made him a papier-mâché replica for Christmas. Good lord. Nana didn't get to meet them, but I think they would have played together if she had. And when we're playing old games, it's easy to imagine her waiting on the love seat for her turn. You know, this is actually really easy for me. Like, buddy, enjoy your Switch. So, I'll get details from you at some point. before we close out the stream. But yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but both times, like, almost teared up. Like, far and away, none of the other stories, like, connected with me on the level that yours did. So, whether it was fake or not, what you guys don't understand, I don't care if it's fake. You like, fucking, I don't care. There was never a requirement that you tell me a true Zelda story. Just a Zelda story. You can make up whatever the fuck you want. Just saying. It was about which one connected with me the deepest. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Slitherkins has won the collector's edition. Woo. There you go. It's on its way to you momentarily. Okay. No fakes. I mean, I could send you the empty box, my empty box, and then when it gets to you, just be like, "Oh, they guess they stole it." I don't know. You know I said that I was gonna do Bandmade stuff after this. I don't know that that's gonna happen. I think we're just gonna end here. Oh, that's what you're saying. That you said not fake. I processed not fake. I hope. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really suspect yours as being fake. The other one in contention, I suspected could have been fake, but I was okay with it. All right. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I should do something more like this. Probably right. I'm trying to find out how to find you. That's fair. I don't really know how YouTube works either. It's weird that, like, I can't just message you. I don't know what I'm doing. Up to you, if that's what you want to do. I don't think that you need to sub up to the Patreon just to get me your contact information. So, totally up to you. Maybe, hold on. I mean, is it just you and me in the chat? You subbed on the wrong tier. You're good. I mean, if that's what you're gonna do, then like go ahead and I'll message you through Patreon. But if not, like I'm pretty sure I made an email account specifically for this one, but for like YouTube stuff. So if like don't feel obligated to do that. You know, just because you won. Like, you won because your story was great. So. Alright. Buddy, I appreciate it. Helps me recoup some of the losses. What did I do with my phone? Who am I? What is life? Have we started yet? I'm not sure I remember. Alright. Let me just go to the website, I guess. I don't need my phone. Hey. I just messaged you on Patreon. I guess I can, well, wait a minute. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close down the stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of the giveaway. And we will catch you